For the past 7 years, it seems like DLSS or upscaling has become the standard when it comes to gaming on PC, and it now seems like it's going to be a standard on console as well. It really hasn't been a big secret that PlayStation wants to have some of the best features that you can have on PlayStation, and one of those things is ray tracing and also upscaling. In order to do proper ray tracing, you kind of have to have DLSS or some sort of upscaling device on your PlayStation, or software I should say, in order to making it easier on the machine for things like ray tracing or having some extra shinies in the game. It makes sense that they would do this because PSSR, which PlayStation created, is not perfect. It's an upscaling device for the PlayStation 5, and they've also been working with AMD recently trying to make even further improvements on FSR 4. While PSSR is doing a great job right now, considering the fact that their upscaling technology is kind of doing better than what FSR has been doing for the past 7 years, which is a really good sign considering the fact that they're now collaborating with FSR 4 and with PlayStation in order to create something that they can collaborate with those type of technologies to the console and also have it on PC as well. Because one of the issues that's been going on with upscaling on the PS5 or Xbox is that they always have to wait for a version for it to come out or hope that they work on a version that is for consoles. Now, PlayStation did work on its own, like I said a little while ago, with PSSR. The only difference between PSSR and FSR 3 before FSR 4 came out, the fact that they use a neural network in order to upscale a lot of the frames that are in there. And the way that I can make you kind of understand what DLSS is essentially is take off your glasses and look at what you're looking at, and it looks blurry, it looks really bad, but then when you put your glasses back on, it looks really sharp, really clear, and it's like in HD. It's kind of like when Martin Lawrence puts on his glasses for the first time in Bad Boys 3. He's like, it's like HD. No, exactly. That's literally what upscaling DLSS, FSR for. And the good news with the new FSR 4 is the fact that PlayStation is backporting a lot of these to the PS5 Pro. The unfortunate thing is that you do need extra hardware, which they call tensor cores, in order to make this technology possible and work. Because let's just be real, it's not like the PS5 doesn't have that integrated within its cores. They did do it with the PS5 Pro, which is good news for the PS5 Pro and the PS6 whenever it comes out. That is going to have software that is made for those devices faster than you would normally do, that they would do making it on their own. Since they're collaborating with FSR 4, it's going to be easier to get on the PS6 and it's going to be easier to get on the PS5 Pro, because more than likely backporting it to the PS5 is going to be a lot easier, or the PS5 Pro I should say, instead of Sony having to make the entire device for the console in order for it to have upscaling and DLSS and then have proper ray tracing on top of that. So that is the good news. The good news is that we won't have to be with the PS5 and waiting for PlayStation to make their own PSSR, and more than likely is that PlayStation is going to make a PSSR 2, either that or call it FSR 4 on the PlayStation 5. I wouldn't doubt it that they're going to make a PSSR 2. If it weren't for this collaboration, I'm pretty sure Sony would keep going with PSSR, but this kind of saves resources for the PS5 in the future, for PlayStation in the future, to where they don't really have to put all their efforts into making their own upscaling technology. They can work on it together with AMD to do half the work and concentrate on things that actually people want for the PlayStation 5, different software updates, different types of updates for the PS5 that are quality of life. That way they're not sucking all their resources and money within that thing. So it's kind of good for both companies. AMD gets to get that neural network technology that they thought really wasn't going to work at first, which is why they didn't implement it, but the PSSR really impressed them in what it does, and it really should impress anybody. It really should. Granted, there are some downfalls with the PSSR. Like, it's kind of it is a work in progress. It's not as good as DLSS on NVIDIA. It is better than FSR 3, which is a little embarrassing for AMD, and I'm sure that's why this collaboration is going on still. So this is good news and bad news. Bad news is not going to be on the PS5. Good news, it will be on the PS5 Pro, and it will be on the PlayStation 6 whenever that comes out in the far futures. At least 3 years from now, we're away from the PlayStation 6, so which is good news. We won't have to wait for these constant, like, oh yeah, next year the PSSR is going to come out. Now more than likely it'll launch with those features. It'll be something that's going to be in the machine when you buy it and when you get it. When can you expect FSR 4 to be backported to the PS5? They said that they want to get it on the PS5 Pro by 2026. So if you're waiting for that and you're wanting that, while those quality of life updates are still a year away, it's going to be well worth it in my opinion, especially what they're promising with the PS5 Pro with FSR 4 and what they're showing off recently when it comes to FSR 4. I can't wait to see what that is on the PlayStation 5. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that FSR 4 is going to be beneficial for the PS5 Pro? How do you feel it not being on the PS5? Do you understand, considering that the hardware isn't there for that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember, you're pretty good.